not so young anymore. Yeah, I'm saying you know that I am not so young anymore. We agree with that? Of course. I am not ashamed of that. The scripture says the hoary head is crowned in glory. It's usually found in the wise. So there's some wisdom in being old because we have experience. And why I was saying I'm not young no more is because you're young and I don't know all of your name and you have an advantage over me because you all know my name. True? Yeah. All right, let me hear your name then. Who? Rihanna? The Rihanna? Oh, not that Rihanna. Okay, Rihanna. Say something, sir. Speak to us. Yes? Andre. Okay, see, some people might not know that you're Andre, you know. Your time. Nick. Okay, Nicholas. And?
Diana.
All right. What's happening to your black shirt? Paul. Paul. Oh, Paul. Okay, and you know Brother Mullins. And now we know your names. That is Sister Davis over there. And you all know her name. So we know one another, eh? Thought everybody said they knew my name. Uncle Herman is it? That's fine. And Uncle Maxie. Okay. Having said that, I am no longer young. My brother over here is no longer young either. But we feel comfortable to be among you as our people. Between us both. We have about 100 years of experience. It's really more than 100, but let's stop at 100, because I might guess my age. Okay? All right. What does that mean? Is that we have some experience with the topic that we want to talk about. Talking about building strong relationships. Anybody can tell me what, when they hear the word relationship, what is it comes to their mind?
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Boyfriend and girlfriend. Eh? Okay, male, female, relationship. Andre? Nothing? Just blank? When you hear about relationship, blank. Eh? Okay, you can't because you're single. Paul? Nothing? Okay. All right. Tonight we want to help you to debunk any misconception you might have of what the meaning of relationship is. And we hope by the end of what we do for you tonight that you'll have a better appreciation and certainly new knowledge of what relationships are and how we build stable, solid relationships. All right. I'm hearing you say that you're single, so you don't. But relationships are not centered around being married. We have relationships every day. You have to relate to your mother and father. You relate to your schoolmate. You relate to your workmate. And you have to relate to people at different levels and in different ways. So relationship is not necessarily girlfriend, boyfriend, lover, husband, wife, thing like that. It's a broader and a better subject than that. However, it also encompasses relationship between man and a woman with an intent for marriage and future life. So we're not saying when your thoughts are on man, woman, that it's really wrong, but it don't comprise that alone. That's just one component of it. Okay. The mere fact that we say relationship should suggest that things are harmonious. Follow me? If you say you're in a relationship with your mom and dad, but you can't get on at home, how is that relationship? Not harmonious. So it can't be a relationship. We're not relating to each other. Just as the word says, how we relate. And if we can't relate to each other, then is that a relationship? It's not. All right, so we're going to give you some direction and stop us at any time to ask any question. If when a slide comes up and that passes and you remember something from the one that has passed, just stop up. We go back to it. And you can ask a question. At the end of it, if you don't want to ask the question, at the end of it, I'm going to ask you questions. Okay? All right. So here we go. First slide. And you get a bit of narration.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we want to thank you for your creation, in that you have created man and woman. The fact that you created Adam and you said it's not good for him to be alone indicated, dear God, that there was something lacking. And there was need for another person. And this other person needed to be of a different composure. They need to be, Lord, of a different temperament to complement the man, Adam, whom you have made. And so you made a woman, and Adam called her Eve, because she was different. And so they started a relationship. They were able to talk, share, discuss, enjoy creation, enjoy the garden, enjoy each other's presence, until sin marred it and there was confusion. But it's not your will, Lord, that there should be this continuous this separation, this unity, this functional relationship. And so you have caused what we call marriage, where the man and the woman would live as one. But even that, Lord, needs a sort of an understanding between both persons to be able to live in an harmonious way. And so tonight, as we seek to look at how to build harmonious relationships, we ask, dear God, that you'll guide us and lead us. And may we be willing, be open to share thoughts and ideas and express feelings for a better person, a better relationship. For Christ's sake we pray. Amen. It says the society in which we live today demands that every person have a sane, wholesome, and clear knowledge of and attitude towards relationships if serious life problems are to be avoided. Can anybody wants to elaborate on that? No. Go ahead, Diane.
The society in which we live today demands that every person have a sane, wholesome, and clear knowledge of and attitude toward relationships if serious life problems are to be avoided. So what that says to me is, let's say, All right, so friendships. Friendships are meant to build each other and encourage each other to be the best person that God intends you to be. But I think it's in Proverbs that says, when you fall, if you have somebody to pick you up, then I don't remember exactly, but that's a good thing. But woe to the one who falls and there is no one. So basically, life will have its challenges. Life will have some very serious moments, and you need others to help you through it. So that's one way to look at it, as well as if you're in a work environment and you can't get along with anyone, then there's most likely no opportunity for you to grow unless you're extremely brilliant in your area of skill. Sure. In your church life, it's very important to be harmonious with your fellow members, because it's expected as believers that beyond any other relationship, as believers, we're supposed to live the most harmonious with each other. And you need people you need people in every sphere of life. You need people. So if you're having issues with relationships, then you're having issues with life.
Yes. In other words, if you and I are going to be civil towards one another, then I must have an attitude towards you, you towards me. I must understand what make you tick, what doesn't make you tick. We have to have certain commonalities, clear understanding of what makes you happy being around me, what make me want to gravitate towards you when I see you. We have to have these clear understanding. If we don't clear on these, then we cannot enjoy each other's presence.
That's right. Okay.
Next slide. With clarity, beauty, respect, and honesty, strong and lasting relationships are established. We all get that? In other words, with clarity, beauty, respect, and honesty, these are like the concrete, the cement, the glue that go to make the relationship a strong one. They build the relationship, they establish it. It must be established on clarity. For you and I to relate, there must be clarity. There must be beauty in the whatever we say or do. There must be respect for each other. There must be honesty. Strong and lasting relationships are established. These are the foundations on which long-lasting relationships are built. Clarity, honesty, respect, and beauty. Next slide.
Could you just go back to the slide? Could you just go back? Yeah. And just to add to that, or to expand upon what is being said there, we must have an attitude in trying to build and establish these sort of strong relations. We must have an attitude in it where we are seeking after clarity. It cannot mean that there is no clarity in the efforts to build a relationship. If it is something where we try some sort of shady thing to get around something to, and not being honest and clear and above board in the discussion or in the intent, then we're not going to be going too far. It has to be. All right, let's take man and woman relationship, as somebody says. But if somebody is always, one of the parties always trying to hide something out of the relationship, and I don't want the other person to know about that. So I tell them a little lie. I will twist things a little, if we don't want to call it lie. If we're not clear, at some point it's going to come out. Because we weren't clear, distrust, and we can't move along as we ought to, because now we can't trust you if you're going to be very clear about other things. Clarity is an important thing to have in our relationship, and it's not just man and woman relationship generally. If there's not trust, and trust, the clarity helps to build the trust.
So if you want to go to a party and your mother said no, how can you make it clear that you want to go to a party? These children right here.
Okay. You're saying if you want to go to a party, or you make it clear to your parents, you clearly come up front. No, but you must be honest. That's the thing. You need to be honest.
Clarity doesn't give you right or authority. It doesn't give you permission either. All it is saying that this is how I am thinking, this is how I see things.
Okay.
You get the drift? Clarity doesn't give you authority. It doesn't give you the right. All it is saying, this is how I am thinking.
So if
we're gonna get to along that line.
yeah, because if you come clearly and tell your mom, dad, whichever, you want to go to this party and this, that is the reason why, and so forth, and who is going to be there, and you're very clear out front with them. It does not guarantee that they'll say yes, go along. Okay? All right. Is that all right? Doesn't. Okay. Next slide.
Having a good relationship with people may not be the only important things in life. So having a good relationship with people may not be the only important thing in life.
Next slide.
Next slide. But whatever life is all about, you will enjoy it more if you do get along with the person or persons of your choice. So you know, this says person or persons of your choice. But whatever life is all about, you will enjoy it more if you do get along with the person or persons of your choice. So it means then that we looked at clarity, respect, honesty. These are what people are looking forward in the next person or persons, and each person is looking forward in each other. So then, to get along, you need all these to enhance the relationship. And remember, relationship is interaction, it's sharing commonalities, it's sharing spaces that make for harmonious or what we call a free, loving relationship.
Next slide.
That is because human beings are social animals. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich, you're poor, whatever pigmentation, whatever classical achievement, we are all social beings. For any person to feel socially alive and to feel alive and well, you need at least one person to interact with. Try it for a week in not talking to anybody and see how you'd feel. Just try it for 1 week. Yes. So we all need individuals to talk to. But as we need others to feel socially acceptable, because we are social beings, there must be these commonalities that go together to establish a relationship to make it harmonious.
So what do you say about this generation that tends to be not as sociable as the previous generation?
Well, the thing about human beings, they are flexible. Today, somebody might feel, I don't want to talk to nobody. And the next minute, and we start to gather because there's something to talk about. What is that? Maybe we are in a technological age. So we are taking up with the devices, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever you call them. But in those devices, they are still interacting with somebody else. Only that they are not sharing the physical space. They are sharing cyberspace, but they are still interacting. You try it. Try to communicate with somebody on WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and they don't respond to you. You start to cuss. You start to... What you do? What you do?
Drop that one.
Sleep. You do not interact.
This generation believes in cutting off people for the slightest thing. So if you look at them, if today you talk,
Find somebody else.
Well, in that, what you have just said, and then I ask a question, in this now very unsociable,
antisocial.
yeah, society, what it means for us here tonight is that we can now understand
Why them single?
why they shouldn't be like that.
That's
Because
why
we-
them single.
Yeah. See, if you're going to develop a healthy and harmonious relationship, you have to be sociable.
Yes.
The
That's
scripture
why they
says,
have so many
the scripture says, if a man want to have friends,
must make
he
himself.
must make himself friendly. So if we pull ourselves away from, that is an antisocial behavior. In the beginning, in Eden, God says it's not good for the man to be alone. God recognizes I make this being, and this being is a social being. Cannot be by himself. So we need to be. So the thing is, in your generation, you have the opportunity to grasp knowledge, to change that narrative from just shut it down and go to sleep and all that sort of thing.
And
to open.
what Yomi said is very important, because what that develops is a vacuum, a trench between parents and children. And that is why you find many times children can't relate to parents because of the vacuum being created by the social media. And then you feel so comfortable within yourself that you don't know how to respond in terms of respect, in terms of clarity, in terms of honesty. Because whereas the social media does not talk back to you, so to speak, you do as you like. Interact with somebody in the physical, they are going to respond to you. And because we're going to get to communication, but let me jump at that. Because the communication aspect of it, when I said to Diane, I like, Diane said, what do you mean? And she started to think of something that's shaped this way. And all I'm just thinking of is just your attitude, your mannerism. I like them. So you find that the social media can and does tend to create a wedge between parents and children. Because why do you feel so good? It's like watching a TV. You're watching the TV and you feel good. The person on the TV not really interacting with you. You find him pleasure, but not interacting with you. If you were talking to somebody else who will now ask for a coding and decoding of what is being said, you find that when you say to John Brown, how about your business? John Brown might think, so, well, okay, you don't like me, you are cuss me out. And all you're simply saying, take a break. Two different things. So it is very important how we interact, how we socialize, and the various mediums of which we interact and socialize, how we go. The story is about this little boy. He grew up with an animal. and he conducted himself just like the animal.
Tarzan.
Eh?
Tarzan.
Yes, he couldn't interact with human beings because of two different socialization. Right? He was just absorbing one method because there couldn't be a coding and decoding, a response and clarity and respect.
And that's probably why this generation have a lot of relationship coach, because they need to learn how to have a relationship. This generation. Next slide. Don't me at 16. Yeah.
Choosing to build a relationship is very different than deciding who you want to date. Choosing to build a relationship is very different than deciding who you want to date. Though we may look for some of the same qualities, we need to look long and hard at the person with whom we intend to spend day in and day out.
Say it to them again, Uncle.
Now I hear some comments from somebody about that.
We shouldn't take this lightly. Choosing to build a relationship is very different than deciding who you want to date.
Yep.
And we won't look at dating, that's another scenario. Though we may look for someone of the same qualities, yes, same qualities, we need to look long and hard. I used to those persons with their microscope. Yeah, man, they turn scientists. They're looking for the minute aspects because they have to look long and hard. Because what you see on the surface may be covered with a lot of garb, a lot of niceties, might be covered with a lot of attraction that blind your eyes. And when those attractions are gone, no longer available to display themselves, you see the real McCoy, that is the adapted
Green lizard.
green lizard. Anybody conscious of colors? We are in a political era, so I don't want anybody to feel intimidated, but green lizard is the right thing. Yes. Right. So we need to look long and hard at the person with whom we, and as a matter of fact, any relationship at all, it requires a keen look. As we go along, we see what is what. Any questions, any inputs?
Any questions, any input?
Let me just put in another pins on this too. When we are, and I'm looking now at the context of looking towards marriage. When we say we are in love with somebody, automatically we don't see the faults in the person again. Automatically we don't see the faults. So we really need to look hard and test it to prove it that we're really choosing the right person for the relationship. So it says love is blind.
Love is blind.
It don't bother see nothing at all wrong. It no see nothing wrong. Because what? One of the earlier slides said we must be honest. Because our intent is for a particular thing in the relationship. Marriage, I could say. Or companionship, I could say. Therefore, we don't look hard enough to see faults and things that will trip up later on because we want to achieve a particular thing. So we are ready to be blind to that. So some people will say in relationship, why the person changed?
They didn't change.
They have not changed.
They were always
You didn't look good to see. Okay?
So they to show themselves up.
All right.
If I might add to that. in choosing somebody to have a relationship with, there are a number of things they're going to look for before you make a move. But in dating is where you go with the person to see exactly what are the qualities, what make this person who the person is, how the person would react, and that is time bound. But for the relationship, it is intended to be long lasting. It requires careful looking and hard and long looking.
So what are some qualities that we should be looking for? The honest, the clarity.
All right. It says relationships that are pleasant during dating could find themselves totally unable to coexist after marriage. So on the surface, you see this girl, tall hair, long fingernail, eyelash,
lip gloss,
cocoa buckle shape,
yes,
a heavy bumper,
yes,
and you say, yes, that is it. But then when you realize, by the time the person gets, let me ask you, how many of you buy snowball? Snowball, you know what it called, snowball?
Snowman.
Eh? Yes, look nice, right? And if you go in the sun, what happens to it afterwards?
It melts?
Yes, that is what happens.
Yeah, Nicholas, that is what happens. When a snowball goes in the sun, it melts. He's a red flag.
Right. The real issue comes to the surface. The person has a nice smile because everything is hunky-dory. But mature to say something that is not too pleasant, even by mistake, and you see the response that come about. Those are the things that tell you exactly who the person is, what makes up the person. Whether the person is short-fused or properly wired. So you need to look hard and long, because the things that you might see on the surface now might not last longer than the time you spend together at the moment. Any questions, any inputs? Many attractive buildings collapse because of faulty foundation.
That's right. That's right.
Like Turkey. Many attractive buildings collapse because of faulty foundation. In other words, and I'm not talking about just marital relationships, I'm just talking about relationships in general. Even relationship at the workplace, even relationship on the football field, right? Because of faulty foundation, the building collapsed. In other words, you see this guy play football and see him a dribble and say, yeah man, that guy a good man, I'm going to link up with him. But little would you know that that guy only put on a show because he wanted to attract other people to him. But if any day him can't get the ball and Thomas don't give him the ball for him dribble, him begs with Thomas because he want the ball for catch the girl them. When him see him a dribble and him pop this one and slide that one thing. But any day him not get the ball, he had him no friend. And you think the boy, he had my friend because you give him the ball all the while. So your foundation was faulty. The relationship went mash up because you know feed him with the ball all the way, he go score and impress the team. Because what happened? You want to score too. You want to get the ball, go to the goalie and pop the goalie and score. So you know give the ball all the while. So the foundation where you had figure that was strong was faulty.
That's right.
Yes. And like in any other relationship, the girl and the guy get on all right because what? The guy give her money.
That's right.
Him a sugar daddy.
That's right.
Right?
Sugar.
So she will always feel that He will always feel all right until the money tree dry up.
When the money dry up, the love dry up too.
Yes. That's right. Love disappear. Characteristics in building harmonious relationships. Yes. All right.
Sorry, I know it's supposed to be funny, but is something wrong with a sugar daddy relationship? Suppose the money will never run out.
Well, if the money not run out, it might run out of anything else.
But he never have nothing else to bring to the table.
Eh? Well,
I said, what is wrong with a sugar daddy relationship? Suppose the money never run out, and then he said, well, if you have nothing else to bring to the table, he said, well, you didn't know him never have nothing else, it's just the money. Something wrong with that?
Well, let me add a little bit to that. But maybe the sister should have tell you the answer for that.
We can't tell them, I just ask.
Sugar daddy relationship, you see, can open up for the woman abuse. You hear what I said a while ago? Sugar daddy relationship for the woman, and then say the money can't run out, can end up in abuse for the woman.
That's right.
all right. I will elaborate, but if the sugar daddy, if he must sweeten you with the money, he may expect you to sweeten him in something else. And if and when you can't sweeten them because all you want was the money,
then somebody else can come and sweeten it better.
Exactly.
Condensed milk.
That's right.
Here?
No.
Condensed milk.
One, we're talking about building harmonious relationships. One, the purpose for the relationship is very key, very important. Nobody goes into a relationship without a purpose. Nobody takes a bus without a purpose. If it's a joyride. So, one, it is important that every relationship has a purpose. Every relationship must have a purpose. This will enable the parties to know what is expected of each one, the possibility during and its expected termination. Yes, relationships do have limitations. Some could be long-lasting, some could be time-bound. But a relationship has a purpose. If no questions, you're already saying turn, so we wait on you to call this slide.
Oh, any questions, guys, before we move? Purpose.
Purpose, or if not, the relationship can done with expectations then in a relationship. Okay. You go in a relationship with expectations.
Yes, yes.
Because they have your standards.
Next slide.
Next slide, guys.
The purpose for relationship. Like any good building, a proper plan is drawn up that outlines its size and type of material to be used. So relationships are imperative for many different reasons, such as increasing our emotional well-being, creating stability, learning how to be a good friend or mate, having someone to count on and trust in times of need, and someone to vent to when we face challenges, and friends and mates take away loneliness and make us feel included. So it's the vital reasons for the purpose for a relationship. Not all of them, but at least one. are those reasons that go into make the relationship.
Listen, now you begin a relationship, you millennials and Gen X and Z and what.
How do I begin this relationship? And this is very critical. That's why a lot of men chop up women. Because them zero in below the waist. Them zero in below the waist. And when Mr. John Brown becomes unable, there's nothing else to keep the relationship. So Mr. Joe Smith, who is strong and vigorous,
That's right.
starts to pay a visit. Eh? Yes, real world. And then you find that
John Joe,
trouble starts to set in. So
baby, I'm gonna do.
this person whom it. So how do we begin the relationship? One, is this person worth it? Is this person worth it? No, but I just look past someone and say, well, I should look good, she look irie, I'm look good physique. They must be worth in it. A guy can look good, but not worth it.
Them just
I check
empty
it.
barrel.
Eh?
Them just empty barrel.
Available before work.
Come available?
Yeah, why is available step 2 and not step 1?
Why is it not number one?
Why is it
Well,
number one?
It's not number 1. Because that's the one that you're available before
All right, well, put it this way. It might have been either here nor there, but these are the qualities. But then again, the worth is important because the person might be available but not worth it. But if the person worth it, then I guess you're going to pursue it. And it might make himself available. But again, it is to an extent neither here nor there. But these are the qualities that it come like concrete. You cannot have concrete without sand, cement, stone, and water. If you leave out the stone and the concrete, that is just mortar. And if you leave out the sand, and you know nothing, you're a crack up. Yes. So, is this person worth it? In other words, am I attracted to this person so much so that I want to engage the effort required to start something? 2, is this person available? We then attempt to assess if that person is open or available to a relationship. This step helps us consider how likely that person has baseline potential to reciprocate our interest. Anybody wants to explain that?
Step 2.
Step 2. In other words, the person might not be available. Because what? The person is a workaholic. The person is a work fanatic. Eh? Thank you. Thank you.
But
Yes.
you know what? House and car and land.
Yes.
So if him not work, how not get the house, car and land?
Is that person? Can't hear you. Because you have some guys who are mommy's pet.
No, sir.
And when you want to engage him in something that you think is necessary, he don't have the time because mommy wants him to go to the supermarket today, right now. So is he available?
No.
Next slide. Do we move on? The next step is an opener that attracts this person's attention.
talking about a show on TLC called Mama's Boy.
Yes. Somebody saying something? Alicia?
No.
You were saying something?
There,
Okay.
we can't pick up Mama's Boy in this day and age.
Me?
The next step is an opener that attracts this person's attention. Their response to your opener also helps you read potential for mutual interest.
In other words, every day I check for Diana, I try to get her attention, and she not pay me no mind.
Me no want you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have to look at that. Very important. Yes. A lot of guys keep pursuing. Come again.
Listen.
Yeah, man. Then I'm going to repeat you. Every day, we try to get their attention. I find all kind of ways to get her attention. And tell you what happened there.
Me no want you. Me
Exactly.
No want you to get my
Exactly.
attention.
So that
Me
is
just
important
don't want
also.
you.
Too often, men push their way onto a woman.
Until you have to block them. And say, sir, come on from a
but no, but even apart from that, you know, Diane, they push themselves on, and later on, when the woman realizes that after all, you're not my type.
Yeah, to me, let me tell you, if as a man you feel pushing, she don't want you, and if she do that with you, you have to go keep maintaining it and maintain. And then after a while, she gonna just really realize she just don't like you, and she gonna move on, and your heart gonna break. So hear what? If you push and she's not interested, be her friend.
Yes.
Be her friend, or move on.
Yes.
Or move on to another girl. Women don't like competition like that. So you will see her start appear and say, hey, them look enough have little
Be-
No, it's not genuine. Women just have a territorial thing about them. Me not have time.
Exactly. I agree with her, because what it is saying is that the type of relationship that you are pursuing, the person might not be interested in that. Do you know that some relationships, whether they be marital or otherwise, are better being at a just I know you, hello, than trying to go beyond that. And we are bound to that if time allows us.
That's right. Like sometimes for women, they might like you, and you know them like the little push. But when you stop or you start have another person of interest, and I say, hey, no, me like you. In the case that she actually likes you, but she wants to see if you like her. But
Yes.
if she really don't like you, you could have 10 other women, but still don't interested. Goodbye.
Exactly. I like the term person of interest. It's not only criminals.
Yes. Territorial. Me could care less.
Do it. Go on. Diane, you call it turn.
Eh?
Step 4. Maintain engagement. You might ask questions, make witty observations, or in other ways, see if you have shared interest. Similarity breeds attraction, and so too does familiarity. The more you engage with someone, the more they have a chance to feel connected to you.
Is that like a soulmate?
Yes.
You need to interact to see if the person is up your stream, is up your alley. Just don't say one or two words and think that you get the person. The interactions, the discourse will determine where you're going. Because Okay. Because the, mo-
My wall iron.
the more you interact,
You have to use Terminator vehicle for go.
all right,
Hey, I better say, bro.
is it too many relationships, irrespective of what type, too many relationships go awry because people just grab onto the first response and say this sounds good until they have gotten it. When it is just an introduction to establish where we go, if we will go any further, and the type of relationship that can be forged. As I said before, Mary might be looking for a guy who she wants to marry. But that guy might not be interested in marrying Mary.
That's right.
All he likes about Mary is the fact that she speaks nice. She has a nice twang, and him like that. In other words, that girl coming like a crutch for him. She can enhance him. She can make him look good. But the interesting fact, he don't really like her deep down. He just wants somebody we can profile with. Right? So the more you interact, the more you talk, as we said earlier on, there must be a purpose for the relationship. If the purpose is just so that we can perform the task at the workplace adequately, timely, to the benefit of the company, not ourselves, that is how the relationship must be forged. Don't look for somebody for a bed partner, somebody for a fling, somebody for marriage. It won't work because the relationship on one side is just to have a good working relationship. And if you can't over that border, that boundary, you're going to end up with problems.
Next. Next.
Next slide.
Now, it says strategic self-presentation. This could be a calm, intelligent self, an exuberant self, a powerful or a high status self. In other words, depending on the relationship you're going to forge, you have to set yourself in a position. Put yourself in a position that the person can grasp, know exactly who they're talking to, what to expect. Right?
I'm not cold-hearted when I meet him. My heart always melts.
Number 6 says follow through. The final task for the relationship initiator is to make the ongoing conversation, not the last conversation. In other words, don't just start today and think, say, that is it. It will tell you the type of person based on how the conversation unfolds. It will tell you the type of person, depending on how the person closes the conversation, opens the conversation, presents the statement. These are the things that go into the relationship. Remember, the purpose for the relationship is the key. So based on the purpose for the relationship, the follow through will be important. Next. Self-confidence. Anybody has any questions? If you want a relationship to be flawed, unbalanced,
Be arrogant.
eh?
Be arrogant.
Be arrogant, but lack self-control, lack self-confidence. Lack self-confidence. In other words, you must have self-confidence. Not that you are overconfident, not that you are lording over the person, but it helps you to maintain who you are. And the person doesn't take you for a wimp or a lackey.
So you show your self-confidence. The person shows his or her self-confidence. And the both of you exactly know exactly who I am, who I'm dealing with. And you can better relate because you don't feel less. In other words, don't mask your relationship approach. Being less than who you are or more than who you are. Be self-confident.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Set your realistic expectations and goals. Communicate assertively
And can handle criticism. So when you're talking, be assertive. I'm not saying to be aggressive or arrogant, but be assertive. Yes, this is what I like. This is what I believe in. So the person knows exactly who you are and can treat you accordingly. Right? Yes, exactly.
Single forever.
And handle criticism. In other words, don't feel somebody can criticize you, but you can handle it. I don't like so-and-so, don't like so-and-so, you can handle it. So, well, well, both, because there might be a time when you go out in public with your person of choice, and somebody says something to that person of choice that you might not like. No, that person must be able to can handle the criticism without feeling less, so that nobody feels embarrassed. Because you have people who, somebody say, boy, I saw you talk to me, and they draw them shell. You must be able to can handle criticism, because no one is perfect. And the way you handle criticisms will tell you how you can handle other matters in public or otherwise.
Open relationship.
Relationships are the connections we have with others, and they can vary in types, intensity, and duration. So relationship can be intensity and can be in duration. The expected duration for the relationship. You have open relationship. No one is in control during, what's the duration? No set time. So it's open. People just talk and interact. No one is in control. What's the duration? No set time. It can't stop anytime. It can't do on any moment. Fling is another type of relationship. A fling is a type of relationship that occurs during a vacation, lasts for the duration of the vacation, and ends along with it. In other words, you might go to a hotel and you meet people there. I might find somebody you just want to have a fling with. No, this fling is time bound. Anytime the vacation done, the relationship done, it's dead. Eh? Well, it is expected to. It's expected to. But you do have some that carry on. Depends on during the interaction, during that fling relationship, other things start to germinate. But basically, if it's a fling relationship, and both parties should know, so that nobody gets hurt at the end of it, that it is only for the vacation, lasts for the duration of the vacation, and ends with the vacation. Marital relationship, that is commitment, that is sexual, and that is forever and forever. How long is forever?
Till death do us part.
What do you mean by death do us part?
Till somebody blows the last breath.
All right, you have to be careful of that now. Because you have people who will kill next one as a death part us.
No, when they're not
That is not the,
they die of natural cause.
That's right. That's right.
natural ingredient to use. A natural ingredient to use.
Then you have the business relationship. The relationship is for the benefit of the organization. Remember I said earlier on that the relationship for the organization. So you interact and you share and you do things just for the benefit of the organization, not for you. And that is during employment. Employment done, then fire you, you resign, it could not end. Some people still have good relationship after, but basically it is for the duration of the employment. So you have the open relationship, the fling relationship, the marital relationship, and the business relationship. We need to look also in any relationship, the background of the other person or persons.
Listen, young ladies. Listen, young ladies.
A background check can be described as a screening process through which an individual verifies the other person's identity. Many times, persons go into relationships. Again, I'm not talking about marital relationship, just like relationship generally. And this girl or this guy gets so deep with this girl or this guy that it's a boy, me can't break off now. Me not go marry, but me can't break off. But you fail to realize that this guy or this girl has a questionable background. Is her character is questionable? You didn't check it out. You just say, boy, I like how she look, me like how him look. And you jump at it without first saying, I think I like that girl, you know, but let me check out her background, her genogram, who is her parents, what them stay like, where them come from. So you know exactly who you're going to interact with. Yes. Mm-hmm. The background. Mm-hmm. All right. You were going to say something?
Well, Grace, the thing is, you need to do this background check early. Which is what the couple of slides before said, that you really need to look good and look close at the person's background and find out about them.
So are we saying that when you're going through relationships, you must go in sharing everything?
Wait. Hey, say that again.
I'm asking. You're asking, when you're going to a relationship that's going to lead to marriage, you must share everything?
It would be good. It would be good, but yeah, at times things will slip by you.
Oh.
If you're going to buy a car, would you just look at the tires and say, boy, I like the car and buy it?
I mean, that's a car, I guess. That's kind of different.
No, man.
It's not reliable.
All right. Alicia, we live in a fallen world. Nothing is perfect. But That is true, because even in the force, the JCF, people come in, you'd have spoken to them, you'd have done background checks, antecedent, and when they come in, you take them in, they pass through, then you realize that guy there had a criminal encounter, right? So nothing is really perfect, but as much as is possible, because what it does is that when you make as much background checks as possible, at least you can say to yourself, so well, I tried my best, I did all I can, and at least you are better in a position to cope with the situation than if you didn't try. Because what you're going to do is say to yourself, no boy, you're going to start blaming yourself. You say, boy, I may never try, I may never this. And if you're ready to shock up and mash it up, because if you can make a fresh start. But if you did all the background checks as much as is possible, at least you can say to yourself, I couldn't do no better, and be willing to go on and deal with it. But it is very important, because you know.
And like 10, 15, 20 years in the marriage, you find yourself a son and a daughter that you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that.
All right. That is not really for this program, but we can still handle it. Then what it means that up and we can now bold and upfront. But you have to sit down and talk. You have to be prepared whether you're going to accept it, yes or no. And he would have to come clear and tell you why he never tell you. You get me? He might have to say to you, well, Grace, no, I never tell you because I love you so much. And I never get the feeling that he tell you, you don't stay with me. You don't kick me out. That's why I hide it. If you can say to yourself, no, all right, me shouldn't have given you that impression. And since that's what you think of me, and I really saw me stay, but I'm willing to forgive you because you come clean now, right? Then it means that then he must now be ready and be willing to share and to make a sort of a relationship with you and the outsiders. They be willing to accept you, you're willing to accept them, and so on and so forth, that, you know, bridge the relationship gap that existed to be able to cope and handle it. Because we're not in a perfect world.
The question is,
Mm-hmm.
aren't you going to have like a trust issue with that person?
The trust issue is not with him, it's with you. Whether you're going to trust him, yes or no. Yes, it's so hard. He has faltered. It's whether you're going to trust him, yes or no. He can do everything to make you trust him, you know. But if you don't trust him, you know, it's like you know, do nothing. But it does.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's going to take that time for me to go back to the level of trust where I trust you to next them and this up.
Yes.
Right? Never come up. That never have a walk. Come here, say.
What else? What else
When
is
you
there?
come to that world and spend time with son or daughter,
Mother.
I'm going to have a trust issue.
Yeah, and that is natural. That is natural. You can't get away from it. It is the first thing that comes to your mind. But then, like any situation, if properly handled, it won't be totally erased, but it's like grieving. When you lost your mommy, that first night when she passed off is like a ton of brick. But gradually, that, No, what I'm trying to say to you is that the trust issue is real. Is real. At the inception, when it brings to your attention the situation, it's going to hurt you. But why he now starts to explain to you and starts to make amends. If you usually stay out every night, he starts to stay out less nights. He starts to do things that he never usually do. He start to do things that but it can be it is left to you now. Because no matter what him do, if him clean your shoes, if him can go everywhere him go, that's right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. 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 And
Yeah,
that
man.
is real. Remember said that wound may heal, but scars remain. They will take a yes, yes, that is it. They will take a time. And just as though you are saying it, I saw it go. They will take a time.
Wherever trust, yeah, well, Grace, I would say, yes, wherever trust is broken, difficult to build back to the level at which it was. Take time, takes commitment, it takes sacrifice. So I did that to you. It come out, I come and I say sorry and explain the reason why, whether it's true or not, sell you something or whatever, but that's it. It's incumbent on the both of you to sit now and set some boundaries, discuss the thing, set some boundaries, and I going to have to know that I going to have to sacrifice a lot to build back your trust. Because it's obvious that if you lie in the relationship, then the other person are going to be able to believe you the next time you tell them something. So we have to understand that as we sit and talk and know that there's going to be sacrifice on the part of the person creating the problem. And some boundaries have got to be put in place and maintained so that you can see it, that I am maintaining the boundaries and doing even better than to build back the trust. But trust not build back so easy, so try to break it.
but the onus, the thing they call restorative justice, the onus will be on you to build the trust. In other words, to accept that he has now reformed himself. Right? But it takes time. It takes time. Right? So no matter, and he has got to work along with you. But at the same time, you can't pressure him. Right?
I think in this generation, it's very important to do background checks with all the various types of agendas that are coming up. Because you don't want to think he's Harry, but he was Harriet. So it's important.
Yeah, no, very, very important. We take it for granted. Background checks is very important. Also, friends, if Mary wants to talk to Tom, Mary must also respect Tom's friends. Because Tom's friends can either make things sink or swim. And many relationships, one party ignores the person of interest, friends, and they can help you to get a better understand the person we are interested in. I don't know if you're following me. Right. Because you can't know everything, but his friends can say to you, Diane, he is a nice guy, you know, but he have a weakness for football. He is a nice guy, but he have a weakness for time. So these, I'm not going to tell you, but you learn these and you watch, you observe. So his friends are also important in the background check.
You know, in relationships, not necessarily a recommended thing, but it's not a bad thing either. That some women really put the men under excessive stress, you know, just to see how the responses are. she don't have the intent to damage the person, but put the relationship in a stressed bit, and you see how the other person react to it, how they manage it, to decide on little things, you know, how them behave, how they will react to certain things, you know, and see what else fly out of it. What time?
25 to 9.
How many more slides there are?
I think you got about 39 slides.
We won't finish it. Just whenever you want to stop, we stop. All right, run with the family.
Next slide. Well, the same thing goes for his family, your family. Next slide.
Friends, they were talking
Friends,
about that.
yes.
Next slide. Not yet. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, man, read and pose no question.
Friendship is a relationship of mutual affection between people. It is a stronger form of interpersonal bond than an acquaintance or an association, such as a classmate, neighbor, coworker, or colleague. Such features include choosing to be with one another, enjoying time spent together, and being able to engage in a positive and supportive role to one another. That's not bad.
All right, so we're saying that relationship is not just about man and woman. There's friendship relationship also. Next slide. Any questions on that?
Yes.
What was that, Grace?
Yes.
Can friends have effect on the relationship?
Yes. I tell you something.
Positive or negative?
That's a very important question. Because you have many relationships. Let's say marital relationships, where Mary and Johnny don't go to Mary's party because of her friends. Her friends don't like Johnny at all. So if she goes, or if he goes there, cold shoulder, and it's an open conversation, you take one party aside and talk, and you just cannot enjoy the moment. So friends can affect relationship badly. Carry go bring come, whisper, say things when go so, make mockery, very important. And that's what I said earlier on, that if Grace is gonna take Tommy for her select person, it's good to know Tommy's friends. See how they treat Tommy, see how they will treat you. Because not all the way you and Tommy are going to be with your parents or your friends. There are going to be times when his friends will want to come and visit your home. So it's very important that friends play a part. Not that they are, we call it now, the cardinal, but they play an important part. Because they will know things that you can't know otherwise. Family?
Of course.
That is the number one. Yeah, man, that's the number one. You go marry one guy when you come in no life, you can't bring your yard. You can't get my yard. If you come in yard with him, you have to stand on the veranda. You can't do nothing to please them.
Next. Next.
Religious belief.
Religious
Beliefs.
That's what it meant to have tug and war. Today is Friday night.
Worshiper.
We have to worship. And my friend in the Maranatha going to party.
Nicholas.
Yes, and him significant other a worship time. And him.
You guys
Well,
can be.
sometimes not necessarily, it depends. But normally, there's already a little discomfort. I say the word discomfort because the woman gone to church and the man gone to party. I'm still home. And him now go. He want piece of pork and she can't touch it because she not eat pork. So religious belief is important. And Grace said, not only Seventh Day and Sunday worshipers, but even people in the different denominations. Because you might find somebody who are brethren.
Well, quiet.
Yeah. And then this person is Pentecostal. And they want.
Yeah, but the problem is that they worship on the Sunday and they worship on the Sunday. Most people want to come to
Different part, you have to have a special part.
That's kind of sacrifice I don't eat. No.
You might be the sacrifice.
So why do you have to make sacrifice and if you have a sacrifice?
And that's a confusion coming out. That's a confusion. That's a confusion.
So that's somewhere you shouldn't go then. So that is one way you shouldn't go. There's still another one with that, you know. If it is a marital thing, Adventists have certain belief, and while maybe you could accommodate their practice in their belief, when children come along, you say, no man, this child have to go Sabbath school, cannot go to Sunday school. So you and these are some of the things that we shouldn't close our eyes to. We shouldn't close our eyes to things like those. Those are good big red flags, like the big Chinese red flag that you can see and know don't go there because you have trouble down the road. All right? You want to stop again? Good stop again, yes. All right, Diana, we're going to stop right here.
Guys, we're going to stop here for tonight. Any questions?
Well, maybe you want to evaluate what you have heard and can tell us if you think you learn anything from it. Arlena, why you whisper to me, man?
I don't hear anybody mention about his or her money.
It's there, it's there, but we have to stop now. There's nearly 40 of them that, so.
So we'll have a part two.
But
We'll have a part two.
his and her money, that is really for premarital counseling, eh? And not necessarily relationship, general.
Can't you have a contractual agreement before marriage if you have like assets and stuff?
Okay, so
No, not a prenup in the traditional sense, but like have a contractual agreement if there are certain assets involved. Have a contractual agreement if there are certain assets involved, especially if like they have other children or. No, that as I said, a contractual agreement, not prenuptial agreement where you do. And a prenup don't mean you don't get anything because you can have a prenup for every year you get this amount of, expect this amount or percentage of my net worth for your time or a house or whatever.
All right, the question is, if you're talking about prenuptial or even contractual arrangement, mind you know, if you set a budget, that's a sort of a contractual arrangement, you know. We will all put our money in, you will get out this, I will get out that, this will go for rent, that will go for the car, that will go for that. That's an arrangement, eh? But
Of course.
if,
Yep.
I think a will is necessary in a marital relationship.
Yep.
yeah, a will is necessary in any kind of, and even if you don't have a relationship, you need to sort of not make everybody come and kick about. Yeah, the question of finance, as we say, is really more than just this. But be very aware that finances play a very important part in marital relationship. Okay? All right. So then,
Brother Herman, a will is very important.
come on. That's me.
Today, everything could be hunky-dory. And tomorrow, they're different change of heart, change of mind. And somebody could come in and say, okay, Johnny said, I'm supposed to get this because I've been treating him good. We have a will. Thank you. A will is not saying that I'm going to die now, you know, because you can always change it. But in the event of death, it stands as a proof as to what was your intention. Because although you and your husband could be living like two peas in a pod, there might be something you want to give to somebody. Right? So a will is always important.
Okay, everyone. Let's talk relationships. Round of applause. Want to thank you. What? Oh, want to thank Brother Mullings and Brother Davis for coming tonight and to share some key points about relationships. I know that we have all learned at least one thing, and we give God thanks for that. So we're about to close, but we're going to take the offering. Nicholas, you can take the offering, please. Give it with love, store it above. Give it with a willing heart. Give it with love, store it above. Give it with a willing heart. I hope you never use your offering by snack. Give it with love, store it. I'm sure